All right. Hey, welcome everybody to this week's webinar about ketones, ketosis, and Keto and the things that I can do for you. My name's Tisher, and I'm joined here with Dustin Schaffer. He's that guy that's waving. And then Vi Hunter Lawrence, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. I didn't even read that. I just remembered it. So,
Long name, so proud of you. Kudos.
right. So this is really cool. And before we start this webinar in this section, I want to make sure that it's clear that we are not making any medical claims. We are not doctors. Every time I try and play a doctor, I don't do very well. So with that being said, let me just kind of go into what this webinar is going to be covering and some things that you might be able to take away from it or share with other people. And so the topic of the webinar is the effects of ketones, ketosis, and Keto. What do these three things, how do these three things affect pain, mood, and anxiety? What is that? Do you guys hear that?
What does it sound like, Dom?
It's like a train's going by.
Oh, really? Well, I hear myself talking again. So,
You hear an echo?
yeah, it must be.
Hey, Vi, can you mute your phone out when you're not? I'll mute mine, and we both mute.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so yeah, it might be an echo. But anyway, so what does ketones and ketosis do?
All right, was that a question?
No. I'm sorry, I was hearing the echo in my headset, so I was like, man, what in the world is this? What's going on? Okay, so here's the thing: is what do these three things have in common, or how can they work together to prevent some pain, ease some pain, increase our mood, or decrease our anxiety, or even give us some better sleep? So that's the topic of the webinar. And we have a special guest. I already introduced her as Vi. She's been experiencing some pretty remarkable things since she's introduced ketones into her system. But before we get to Vi, Dustin, can you explain to me a little bit about ketosis? What is ketosis for people that are joining us that may not know? And what is it about ketosis that makes it so important?
Try that again. So ketones and ketosis is that state when your body is deprived of either food or most likely, more likely carbohydrates, right? If you don't have any carbohydrates in your system, your body will then tap into your fat stores and eat your fat, it'll metabolize it in the liver and produce a ketone body. People that are familiar with like Atkins diet or a ketogenic diet or a low carb diet, that's what they're trying to achieve is to tap into their fat stores and use it for that stored energy that it is. I use the example, if you've ever watched Survivor, if you notice on the TV show Survivor, that they get skinnier, they get smaller, and because without that food that they don't have available to them, their body will then eat off their fat stores. It's not like they just wither away and die. So this is a very natural state that the human body can go into and should go into often, and we're seeing all these health benefits that go along with these ketosis, these ketones, and what it can do to help heal and help the body.
Okay, so basically, when we're in a state of ketosis, what's happening is like nutritional ketosis. Our body is taking our stored body fat and it's getting processed through the liver, and it creates ketones, or these ketone bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and now these ketone bodies is an additional fuel source, much like glucose, and in that aspect, it gives us fuel. We're able to be productive and have the energy that we need. But what studies and research have shown is that these ketone bodies are actually probably a superior fuel source than glucose, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you look at ancestrally, we've been in the state of ketosis most of our existence, and we have a receptor site for ketone bodies in our cells. Most people do not experience this state of ketosis, but our ancestors would have. Even as far back as 100 years ago, they were waking up in a state of ketosis, and their body was getting fueled by this fuel and getting energized by this fuel. So we noticed, especially when the body's under trauma, under stress, that ketones become a very, very powerful fuel for the body to have and utilize. And we've noticed that now over the last 9 months with this product, just helping so many people. I like to tell people they're eating food, but their body's starving. It's not getting the nutrients where it needs to go, and ketones are something they can absorb very easily, effectively, and help a lot of people just feel better and feel energized.
Okay, so this is great fuel for our body, but up until this point, getting into that state of ketosis, being able to have ketones in our system readily to use for our body to use, to heal, to give us energy, has been somewhat of a chore, because what people would have to do is take on a diet for most of us is very strict, and most of us give up on it, and it's called the ketogenic diet, where we take in a high amount of fat, like healthy fat, not the Snicker bars fat, but the healthy fat, moderate protein, and very low to no carbs, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so it's very tough, but then now we have this ketone supplement, and I'm going to use a prop. You did it last week because I didn't have it readily available, but it's Keto OS, right? It stands for Ketone Operating System, and it says it right there on it, pure therapeutic ketones. It's a simple drink that you put in some water. I've been drinking it while we've been on the webinar. This is my second one for the day. You shake it up, you drink it, and within an hour, you're in the state of ketosis, which is simply put, an elevated level of blood ketones. So I want to make sure that it's not confused with nutritional ketosis, or is it nutritional ketosis, Dustin?
No, it's not confused. So nutritional ketosis is when you actually physically have to deplete your body of glucose and use those and then tap into your own fat stores. What exogenous ketones do, when we drink this product, it gives you this therapeutic state of ketosis. So I like to use the example of, I can show you what it's like to be in Hawaii without going there. And therefore you can decide, like, if I like Hawaii or not. If I like being in the state of ketosis, now I can teach you how to get to Hawaii. I can teach you how to do the diet, if that's your choice. Not necessary. Some people just want to look at pictures, and some people just want to get the experience without actually having to go to Hawaii. So exogenous ketones put you in a therapeutic state of ketosis, but not in a nutritional state of ketosis, which is required by nutritional changes.
Awesome. So, but we still receive the same benefits as if we were in nutritional ketosis if we just drink the drink.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and I think that's really cool. That's a new technology. You got to forgive the laptop's moving around. I'm in my son's house, like I was telling you guys earlier, in the nursery, and I'm sitting on the little rocker. So now the thing that we're talking about today is how is it that ketosis, ketones, and Keto OS can help relieve some pain, right? How does that come about? Pain, mood, anxiety. And before we go into that a little bit, Dustin, I want to say that I used to walk with a cane, right? I was in chronic pain. I had back surgery. I had the traumatic brain injuries, just like you. I was putting on the weight. I was just an irritable mess, right? I was just horrible. And then I started ingesting this wonderful thing, Keto OS. I even have the sample packs. I started taking it, and I started to feel better. And I think what I told you when I first met you on the phone, I was talking with you and Michael Rutherford on a conference call. And I told you, I'm like, hey, in the last 3 days, I lost 12 pounds. And then I made a little smart joke. I said, that tells you how fat I was. But what you said was, no, not necessarily. That tells me that you were inflamed. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about the inflammation, how Keto OS or ketones kind of can help us decrease our inflammation, and the importance of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a really cool Yale study out that talks about inflammation and how ketone bodies actually can dampen that effect. And like Dama says, we're not making any medical claims here, but when you look at this research that shows that ketones can reduce inflammation and the effects that people are having, and then we're giving people an exogenous ketone supplements, and you and I both are, I needed my knees replaced by the time I was 24. I needed a total of 13 surgeries coming out of college. I elected to have one experimental surgery, and after that, life was so bad that I didn't choose for any, just because I didn't want to have to go through the lack of use of my body. And I followed the ketogenic diet because it helped me not hurt. And then now that I can drink something, so I don't have to be 100% on my diet all the time and not be achy and moving and feeling bad. But inflammation, if you look at it, it's the link to all problems. I mean, and you look at anybody that's sick or dealing with issues, inflammation's present. And so if we can give something all natural, that is naturally supposed to be happening for us, right? I mean, our ancestors, what did they do when they sprained an ankle? What did they do when they were injured? They didn't have ibuprofen. They didn't have all these things. They had ketones. They naturally were less inflamed because what ketones can do. So that's why I think a lot of people lose a lot of that weight right up front. I always tell people, the more you lose up front, the more usually you got going on. The longer you should probably be on this system, and the more you should even implement the lifestyle, because you think you're going to get a better result. Doesn't mean you have to, but I find that that's often the case. And I know we were up in Kentucky a couple weeks ago, and we both got out of the car after a long day of driving, and we were both just kind of moving a little bit slower than we would like to. And right away we looked at each other and we're like, we need another serving. We did, and we got back in the car and we felt great. And so it's definitely impacting our function, our day-to-day lives, because we can't go back and put the cartilage back in our knees. We can't go back and just fix all of our stresses that we put on our body over our life. But we can now manage it in a way that's very natural, that has a lot other benefits than just the anti-inflammatory effects. So we can mentally feel better, physically feel better, and there's just nothing out there that's quite like it.
Right, and that's so super cool that we're able to share this with so many people and help their lives get better. And inflammation, I think, is, like you said, it's a cause of so many things, right? So and science has even, or research has even shown that inflammation could be one of the leading causes to depression, right? That study just came out not long ago. And then, like when I used to have migraines, right? Maybe I know it was inflammation. So it's really cool stuff. So before we go any further, I know we have Vi on here, and she's been quiet and very patient and taking the back seat. But Vi, if you wouldn't mind jumping on for us and telling us kind of your story, telling us a little bit, one, about yourself, what made you decide to start taking this ketone supplement, Keto, and what's your experience been since you've been on it?
All right, well, thank you so very much again for both of you all having me here today. And I have to say that every time I get a text from Dom or talk to Dom, it is very educational, and I become more amazed at this product, because as you all speak now, it makes sense that taking the product can help rid of inflammation, because I have a friend who that just reminds me of probably why she is losing a lot of weight, why she recently became on it. So my story is I am a mother of 5, wife, full-time grad student, on countdown. I'm 12 days away from graduating, too excited about that. I have anxiety, depression, insomnia. So what originally started me, or my interest in the product, is that one day I was on Facebook wanting to get back on the ketogenic diet, because I did try the diet out before, and I loved that the diet, helped my mood. I loved that I felt more energetic. I felt happier, and I was still taking my medications at the time, but I still was like, I want to get back on that diet. So I was on Facebook looking for, recipes for the ketogenic diet, and then first thing I see as soon as I put in ketogenic is Keto, and I'm like, oh, what's this? So I start digging and then I see the word therapeutic. my master's program is occupational therapy. So, you know, therapeutic and occupational therapy, I'm like, okay, so I know what this is. This is going to help more on the aspect of, you know, emotional regulation, mood, sleep, depression, you know, therapeutically. So I was excited about that. So then I did a lot of digging. Needless to say, I got connected with Dom. I ordered my first shipment, which was a 15-day supply, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of regret it because I wish I had done the 30-day, just like you had suggested, Dom, because as I'll get to in a minute, when I ran out of my keto, I had some serious effects, and I was like, no, I want to feel good again. I want to sleep again, you know. So anyway, when I started taking Keto, I noticed, and again, there's no medical claims here, I'm just stating my experience with taking Keto OS. I noticed that my moods were a lot better. I was not as anxious. I did not feel like I always had to be on the go. You know, people with anxiety, we typically have this, you know, feeling in our chest all the time, this jittery feeling that people that would take stackers. I don't know if anybody remembers stackers. You know, it was a long time ago. Might be telling my age here. But, you know, people that took stackers felt, you know, always this jittery, anxious feeling of I have to do this, I have to do this right now. I felt a lot calmer. I felt a lot peaceful, or a lot more peaceful as I did when I took some of my anxiety medications. And I was not taking my medications at the time because I wanted to wean myself off of them because I wanted my body to be holistic. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling a lot more calmer. And then I started running out of the keto. And my friends were like, you know, you've been able to get all your work done. You're normally the last one in our class to get work done. And here it is, I was one of the first, you know, so my energy improved. I was able to stay focused on completing 10-page papers, 20-page papers. You know, I was able to get all of these things knocked out. I was able to sleep. Well, while taking it, I was able to sleep. I was able to go to bed on time, you know, instead of going to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, you know, and then sleeping the day away. I was able to go to sleep right when my kids did, or a little bit after, about 10 o'clock, and sleep all the way through the morning. And I felt like I received a restful sleep. Like, I think one time, Dom, you even called me in the morning because you knew it was used to me waking up in the morning, and I was like, I'm still asleep, you know, and that's from me having a night of insomnia. And I've just noticed a complete difference with my overall mood, my sleep pattern. I feel really good. I have energy. But when I ran out of my 15-day supply, you know, it took me about a week afterwards for those anxiety feelings to come back, for my insomnia feelings to come back. So it's like when you all say that you all got out the car and took another drink of keto, that you all felt replenished. So I'm like, yes, this is why I think I'm going to start carrying the travel sizes with me on a regular, because, you know, if I'm at the end of my day and I know that I need a drink, Keto OS is what I'm referring to when I say a drink, you know, I can most definitely just take that. But overall, I really have noticed a difference in not, or feeling more at peace, you know, like I can accomplish tasks without being in a hurry. I've been more focused. I've been able to do that, and to have someone on the outside be able to see the results. And even my friend just today, that she purchased Keto OS, it's so funny, I gave her a sample supply, and she's one of my classmates that typically is one of the laggers with me. She's been knocking assignments out. And today she was like, you know, Vi, I'm sorry for all this interaction that's going on behind me here. But she was like, Vi, I don't really notice a difference. I had to laugh. I laughed really hard. I said, Shannon. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say her name. I said, check this out. You've done so much work. Look at all this work you've done. She was like, yeah, I have done a lot of work. You're right. I have. She was like, well, let me go get my next drink.
you know, Vi, that's a really good point to bring up, is that, you know, some people just don't even realize the difference in themselves. Mm-hmm. Dom and I were at an event last weekend or last week, and gentleman, basically he was taking it for performance, didn't get the result he thought he should get, but then his wife's like, you're not stopped taking that product. He's like, you're just so much more present, you're more focused when you get home, you spend more time with the kids, and he's like, I do? And so sometimes it's the people closest to us that realize the changes, and it's just a perception thing that people have. But let me ask you this, you know, seeing the benefits that you've gotten from this, and maybe, you know the ketogenic diet, you understand that, Who do you feel could benefit from that? Who do you feel out there that just needs to experience or try this just to see that they can feel better?
Honestly, every single person. I have been talking to everyone that I see. The people that I pay more attention to say, hey, you need this, are people that come to me or that I know that have issues such as fibromyalgia, that have irritable bowel syndrome, that have chronic swelling, chronic inflammation, who
So
have
you're telling me that people that are struggling with health problems are reaching
period.
out to you asking for help?
Not necessarily are they reaching out for me. They've always mentioned that they're tired of taking their medications.
Okay. So
So
just keep in mind, Vi. I know that we don't want to cross any of the
yes,
medical lines, but these people that are
yes,
struggling with health problems are kind of they're asking for ways they want to feel better, is what you're saying.
correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to most definitely say that it's not any medical claims. It's just something that I see has changed myself within me that I want to help them with as well. So yes, people who want to feel better, basically,
Okay.
bottom line, and they have not found anything else that has helped them. They
Yeah.
want to feel a lot better. I have a friend who has chronic pain. They're in the process right now of trying to figure out where her chronic pain is coming from. I gave her a sample. Okay, she called me and was like, hey, I need to order this now because I'm not hurting. So yes, people who are in pain that want help or have any medical problems, or they want to feel better. Let me say that. I keep saying medical problems, so I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I mean, it is what it is, right? This is an excellent tool that puts our body in a state of ketosis, and the ketones. All somebody has to do if they want to know what ketones are and how beneficial they are to our body and how they can affect, not just me or you, but anybody else that they might know, all they have to do is Google ketones and whatever, you name it, ketones and you put in whatever phrase you want, and there's most likely some research out there that'll cover it, that gives the idea of the power that ketones can have for them. And then it's just really simple. What ketones provide, this drink provides ketones. So the benefits that are associated with the ketones and all the research that suggests all these benefits, you get it by taking the drink, right? So Vi said some pretty interesting things, Dustin. She was talking about sleep, right? So she was able to sleep better. She didn't feel as anxious. She just was able to be more productive, right? Had that lifting, that brain fog that we like to call it. And I know we've touched on this the past few weeks, but there might be somebody out there that's just watching this one webinar. Can you kind of tell us with your expertise as far as why would Vi be able to sleep better by taking Keto OS? Or getting into the state of ketosis, elevated ketone levels, why would she be able to, be more productive through schoolwork, have more energy, and a better mood?
Yeah, now, there's a few reasons why. One could be that, the anti-inflammatory effect. It could be the fact that they're just more comfortable because maybe their body just has reduced some of that inflammation. The other one, which I think is the most likely, is the two that are the most likely is the blood sugar control. We see people that take ketones and it keeps their energy nice and stable. So if they end up having some type of unstable blood sugar spike through the night or drop, that can wake them up. So ketones keep that nice steady energy in your body even while you're sleeping, which is very important. So that might keep you from waking up and getting that nice deep sleep. And then the third one, which is kind of built around the patent of this product, at the University of South Florida, the ability for ketones to relax the mind. And I think that's why we've noticed such a difference in our moods, is that we just have this natural relaxed feeling around ourselves. And when your mind's nice and relaxed, it can then do what it's naturally supposed to do, is calm down and rest at night. So I think between those three things are probably the main factors of improving sleep. But my suspicion is the relaxed mind and the and the nice stable energy through the sleep is probably the most beneficial. And then, of course, if inflammation's an issue, that will only help.
Yeah, and that all makes sense, right? So before this, I didn't sleep very much. I slept 3 hours a night. I had my issues that we've spoken about. But so, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but so this product, Keto-OS, puts ketones into your system. But the really cool thing that you just said is the patent that's behind this was developed at a University of South Florida. And I know the story, but I really like listening to you talk because I get to drink my keto while you're talking. So why did the University of South Florida develop this patent?
Well, the patent on the product was actually developed for Navy SEALs to prevent seizures. And so the ketogenic diet was utilized in the early 1900s and has been ever since to help kids with epileptic seizures. So what they found is that when a kid has ketones in their body, their mind relaxes and seizures no longer will happen. And in some cases, they can reverse or cure the seizures. In kids, they typically keep them in that state for 2 years and they may go away. So actually, NASA and Department of Defense were both having these problems with SEALs and astronauts. But the University of South Florida basically stumbled on some really cool stuff that they found a way to put ketones in your system through a drink, through an exogenous form, which then stopped the Navy SEALs from having seizures because they got them at the therapeutic level of ketones in their body. And then, your friend, our CEO, basically stumbled upon this or had it come across his desk, this patent, and decided to see if we could formulate a product because the side effects wasn't just the preventing of the seizures for the Navy SEALs. It was actually mental clarity, focus, energy, fat loss. So there's all these other benefits they got out of utilizing this product. So we got our hands on it. And we reformulated to make it all natural and very clean, but keeping the therapeutic effect. And so bringing that to market, we're not utilizing it for the same reason that the Department of Defense and the Navy SEALs use it for. We're using it for all these other benefits that people are getting. And I think that's what makes this really neat is the science and research that goes behind why this even is where it is and why we have our hands on it. It's pretty special.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, if you just look at some of the benefits associated with this product, I don't know if you can read that, but you got fat loss, sustained energy, reduced brain fog, increased awareness, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go through it all, but I mean, it's really cool. And this product is really helping people get better, right? And that's one of Prove-It's things is, better. Whether it's just being a better mom or a dad or a student, employee, just being better. And that's what's really cool about pure therapeutic ketones. It gives you some energy. It gives you the increased cognitive function. And it's all because of the science of ketones, and that's what's really cool. But this. I don't know, Vi, do you have anything else to add? Because I'm getting ready to wrap this up, and you've been quiet and you've been awesome. So I want to give you a second. If you have a question, or if you have another comment that you'd like to add, then I want to give you the floor.
Well, thanks again. Just really quickly, Dustin said something about sugar levels, and I know I've seen testimonials where people have talked about them being diabetic and they've noticed a difference. But I've noticed also when I utilize Keto-OS that I don't have those blood sugar spikes because I used to have drops. My blood sugar would drop quite frequently. So basically it also helps with regulating the sugar levels even during the day. Is that correct? Because I normally take my keto in the morning. Now, thank goodness, I have keto cream. So now I'm using that in the morning, and then I just took a keto this afternoon, Keto-OS this afternoon. So does that also just help level that out? Because I just now noticed that since you mentioned that I've not been having as many drops in my sugar where I'm feeling lightheaded and I get the shakes and I have to have something close to me just to regulate my sugar. Is that something that has been researched on as well?
Yeah, absolutely, because the sustainable energy that ketones provide, just your body has another fuel source. If you're strictly living on glucose, you basically, if you don't keep it balanced all the time, you get these ups and downs. That's why people will eat a big meal and get tired, or that's why people, if they don't eat over a long period of time, they get kind of cranky and or hangry, people call it. Well, with ketones, it's kind of like our ancestors. Basically, when when they didn't have food available, they weren't angry, they weren't mad. They just had to go find food, and they were more focused and more clear-minded, which is kind of an important time when you need to go find food, right?
Right.
So that's what ketones do, and they keep you in that nice stable state, and keep you focused and keep the energy stable through the day. So that's why people that are struggling with those ups and downs through the day feel so much better and are able to be more productive. Because as soon as you eat and you go down, you're not going to be able to focus and get as much tasks done. Or as soon as you haven't eaten all day and your mind's thinking about food, you're not going to be able to get as much done. So this just keeps you nice and even keel through the day.
Well, that's awesome, because that's another thing that I noticed with one of my friends that she said as well, is that she was scared to take her keto because she was scared that she was going to have to eat and then she was going to be tired. And I was like, no, you've not had that record, the past time that you've taken it. You've noticed that you've been able to take it and eat and then you keep moving. And, again, she was like, yeah, that is a true statement. So, all right, well, thank you for helping me realize that, too. That's another benefit that I've had that I didn't even really realize until you talked about it.
I think that's really cool. So Vi just said until you mentioned something, she didn't realize that she was having these benefits. And I think that happens with so many people that take this product. And I think that's why it's important that people, if they decide, hey, I want to try Ketos, they should, commit to at least 30 days.
Yeah.
And then if they think it's not working for them, then stop taking it. And then you'll quickly realize everything that it was doing for you.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, it's a pretty awesome product. I mean, ketones, the more research I do, the more talking I do about it, the more I learn, right? But there's literally 100 years of research behind ketones and ketosis. But this nifty little thing in this really cool bottle, Ketos, is a first of its kind product out on the market that puts you in the state of ketosis, gives you that elevated blood ketone level to therapeutic range. And speaking of that, and I won't go much longer than this since I just mentioned it, the therapeutic range of ketone levels. So we measure that by blood, right? You can use the urine sticks, but blood is the most accurate. So Dustin, what is a therapeutic range of ketones in our system?
So it is 0.5 millimolar or more is a therapeutic level. And most people that do a diet typically don't get that low. Now we can go further into that. There's a higher level, but that's by definition the therapeutic level of ketones and ketosis. Now with a pee stick, you cannot measure that. Pee sticks are what basically is measuring how much gas you have in your car by the exhaust coming out. Not super accurate. Tells you that ketones are in your system. They just don't tell you how much. So the blood meter definitely is a more valuable tool. I tell most people, though, based on how you feel, if you do that, then you'll be very successful. But for some people, like myself, I like to measure mine just because I'm a kind of a science guy and I like to kind of figure things out, but truly not necessary.
Yeah, and I think it's right. I have a blood meter because I think it's really cool just to see it happening, right? And then I'll also test like a bunch of personal trainers and things like that feel they're in nutritional ketosis, where they're in that therapeutic range, and the best way to tell is by doing that. In order to get to that 0.5 millimoles in the nutritional ketosis, like you said, is very difficult. You can go over on too many vegetables one day, and you kind of kick yourself out, or you're kind of teetering between just having a little bit of ketones in your system to therapeutic range. And what I've noticed with this product when I take it, and I don't know, I'm sure everybody's different because everybody's body is able to absorb the ketones differently. But now I'm usually sitting pretty high. I'm well above that 0.5 millimoles. I'm actually at 2.0, 2.6, which is extremely to do if you're in nutritional ketosis. So it's a great tool. Now we're not taking anything away from nutritional ketosis. This is a great tool for people that live the ketogenic lifestyle, and it could just up their game a bit. So, yeah, Dustin, do you have anything else to add, or?
The only thing I have to add is that, this is pretty neat. I mean, the more science and research I've done on this, which I had a lot, I get to work and talk with a lot of the leading experts on this topic. And when we start learning more about what these are, you'll do about anything to get them in your system. I just tell people that it's a process. So take it slow, work up to it, and it will truly, if it doesn't impact or change your life dramatically, it will truly impact and change somebody else's life that you know. So I encourage people to at least let people know that this product is out there and it can really help them out. So that's really my impact, or my 2 cents, is that a lot of people need to try this product for many reasons, and because people are just struggling and they want to feel better. If it's pain, arthritis, if it's just inflammation or stress in their life that they want to reduce, please let them at least experience it.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't say it any better, because this product is a great thing. At least give it a shot before anything else. I mean, it's amazing. So just to recap this, we talked about the power of ketones, ketosis, and KetoOS when it comes to affecting our sleep, our mood, our pain, and inflammation. And inflammation is a huge thing that I think so many people just dismiss. But if we can, reduce that inflammation, it can make a world of difference for so many people. And then we had Vi on, who had just started taking KetoOS not long ago, and you heard her story, which is pretty amazing, where I feel blessed, and Dustin, I know you do as well, where we're able to reach out and touch and help so many people just be better. And it doesn't just affect them, it affects their entire family, their friends, and that's really cool. And next week, we're going to have a really cool webinar, and it's really geared towards veterans. I have 2 caregivers that take care of their spouses that were, service members that came back from war, that have different issues. But they're going to be on those webinar for us. And, we're just going to interview them, see what the changes were in their life and what they saw from the outside looking into their husbands, what the difference was of getting into ketosis and how it benefits them. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And anybody who's watching, that's probably not one to miss. But anyway, I want to thank Vi for being on. Dustin, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you do and your knowledge and what you bring to this team and to the company. It's remarkable. So thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Tom.
If anybody watching this wants to purchase the product, just go in the link below. There'll be some different names like mine, Dom Tisher, Dustin Schaffer, and Vi. His name will be down there. There'll be emails and web links. You can pick whoever you want to help you out. So thanks for watching, everybody. Dustin, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.